So we have our front view, but we're lacking a side view, and that is particularly important when it comes to the rigging. If I go back to the drawing of this, you'll see that there are some 3D aspects to the rigging. This back bar here is where the Dyneema coming down attaches. And on a 3-stage elevator, we've got 2 of those back bars, and I don't know if they're at different heights even, or different distances back. So in addition to figuring out the positions of the rigging, on this 2D plane, we need to figure out what the back bars are defined by. And for this last stage, the 4 blocks are attached to the same face, and so that doesn't matter. But for that intermediate stage, if we go back to the sketch, for the intermediate, oh, that's not right. That's better. For the intermediate stage, the one here, the blocks are attached up here to a back bar that is offset, and here they're attached to the front part of the elevator. So we've got to do a side view in order to make this, in order to give us that information. So the first thing I want to do is actually separate the elevator again. And that will make it so that we can more easily see what we're working on. We don't have a bunch of lines. If you look at this on the side and it's overlapping, let me undo that, change dimension, you just see one line. So this makes it much easier to see where the different stages are. Alright, so we'll exit that sketch. And I think the best way to do this is going to be to put a new plane here on the center line. So the center line of the exploded elevator. So we'll go right plane is our plane reference. This line is our center line. Maybe this line down here. And we'll make a plane. So S for search, plane for plane. It needs to be parallel to the right plane, coincident to this line. We'll call this extended elevator midplane. And we can make this plane look nice. Alright, there we go. So this stage here is the trivial example. Everything is attached to the backside. This one here is the interesting example because we have these attached to this side and this back bar up here in another place. So let's do the trivial example first, just as a way to look at this. So I'll do a sketch on this midplane, and then let's bring in these lines for the structure. We'll do convert entities. There we go. So those lines are brought in now. And here are where the blocks are going to be. Now, we don't actually know what the dimensions of those blocks are. It doesn't matter for this one, but we might as well get them so that we have them for the next one. So I go to this block subassembly. The critical dimension is that we want this hole to line up regardless of where the base mounts. So I just made a quick assembly to show what this looks like. You have the center lines lined up independent of where the base ends up. And the critical dimension here is the distance between this base and this hole. So if I select these, S for search, measure, center distance is 0.788 inches. So interesting decision by Thrifty bot, but we can work with this. So what we're going to do is just draw a triangle here. We'll make these equal, and our height of our triangle, 0.788. And I will put a circle on here. Let's figure out what the diameter of that is. S for search, measure 1.15 inches. Alright, there's a block we can use. Select these individually. I always forget the block tool is under search, make block. Insertion point, let's put that here. That's where we're most likely going to need it. Okay, let's see, this has probably become unmated here. There we go, we've got that. And then we can come down to the bottom of this stage and do another insert block, block 8. This line there. That there. Okay, good. So that's where we'd have this Dyneema running in between these two. So now the more complicated example. So we have this vertical, that's the main tube. We have this one down here, that's the bottom tube. And then we also have this back bar that's up here. So let's actually construct the 2D view on this. We can go back and do it on the other one as well. We have a rectangle down here. We have a rectangle up here. These are going to be collinear. And this is 2x1 tube. There we go. And then this back bar up here we also need to construct. But we don't know where it's located. So let's put in our lower block. And we will put in our upper block. So when this appears, this purple funnel, and you can't select anything, means selection filter accidentally got turned on. View, hide, or toolbars, selection filter. Go ahead and turn it off. All right, and then we can just pick these vertical to each other, and that sets our distance. For kicks, 1.576 inches. Cool. So that gives us the information we need for that. We can also do this lower one, probably do that separately.